right, so Mr. Raymond Sims, I understand that you're part of the Leon County Sheriff's Department, and you're currently working in the courthouse. So of course you kind of run into sign language interpreters sometimes. So what's your experience with that? What kind of things do they do? Do they help communication, or
Certainly, they're a big help in communication. Now, you mentioned language interpreters. Are you referring to sign language as well, or just different for different languages?
Well, specifically for my purposes, sign language, because I am studying to be a sign language interpreter. Do you see more sign language interpreters or language interpreters?
Generally, the use of sign language interpretation in the criminal aspect, and that side of court anyway, is not used near as often as language interpretation. It seems like, in my experience, the most hearing impaired individuals that have a need for sign language interpretation, they don't get in trouble a whole lot. So we see a lot more of the people that need the language interpreters there that don't speak English or whatever. But we see both, but more so on the language interpreters.
Okay. So when you were patrolling, did you ever run into a situation where you pulled over someone who was hearing impaired and you had to figure out how to communicate with them?
I never pulled someone over that was hearing impaired. Again, most of my experience with hearing impaired is they're very law-abiding citizens. I have had several incidences where they were either a victim or a witness in a case, and I would need to obviously be able to communicate with them then. So interpreters were very needful, and not always available, but very needful. So sometimes when we didn't have an interpreter around, you'd have to do the best you can with, just simply writing and communicating that way with them.
Okay. So what about as far as your expectations for an interpreter? What kind of description would you give for what you need them for, or what you expect them to be able to do?
Well, just in the courtroom setting, it helps if they're well-spoken, easy to understand, and don't have too much of an accent themselves, because at least in most of the trials, the criminal trials, most jurors understand English, and if you got a strong accent from another language, that may be a problem. But usually, as long as you're well-spoken, we haven't had any problems as long as they are easy to understand.
All right. Have you ever wondered if maybe they add extra information into the court case that maybe wouldn't have been brought up?
Certainly, you always wonder. In cases where interpreters are used in court, though, both the interpreter and the person they're interpreting for are sworn in, so you're hoping they're abiding by their pledge and oath of office.
Yeah. All right. Well, that concludes my questions that I have for you today. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Nice to talk to you.
You too.